You can train for months and still look unchanged. That does not automatically mean bad genetics, and you probably do not need another supplement. The real problem is usually hidden inside your routine. Many people work hard, but in the wrong way. They repeat workouts that no longer challenge them, rush repetitions, and let momentum take control. Then they ignore food, sleep, and recovery. 4 simple changes can fix most of this, and the final change happens outside the gym. Rule 1. Stop ending every set too early. Your muscles respond when a set becomes genuinely difficult. Imagine planning 10 repetitions on the bench press. You complete 10, rack the weight, and still feel fresh. In reality, you could have performed 6 more clean repetitions. That set created movement, but very little challenge. Now imagine finishing the same set with only 2 good repetitions left. The final repetitions slow down, but your technique remains controlled. That is training close to failure. Training close to failure is different from failing recklessly under every weight. You do not need absolute failure on every set, and research does not show that failure is always superior. Constantly reaching failure can create fatigue faster than useful muscular work. Instead, finish most working sets with approximately 1 to 3 repetitions remaining. Beginners can leave slightly more while learning proper technique. Isolation exercises are generally safer places to push closer to failure, while heavy squats and compound lifts require more caution. Never sacrifice joint position simply to force another repetition. When your form collapses, the target muscle often loses tension. After your final repetition, ask yourself, could I complete 3 more with clean form? If the answer is easily yes, increase the challenge. If the answer is no, your effort was probably high enough. If your technique broke badly, the weight was too ambitious. Your goal is productive difficulty, not gym theater. Keep the target muscle working, control the weight, and notice where tension disappears. Stop confusing pain with effective muscular effort. Sharp pain is a warning, not a growth signal. Select an exercise variation that feels stable and repeatable. Record your estimated repetitions in reserve after every working set. Your estimates will not be perfect initially, but honest tracking will improve your judgment. Make your difficult sets hard enough to matter. This creates the effort required for Rule 2. Progression must be visible, not imaginary. Your body gradually adapts to work it has already mastered. The workout that built muscle last month may only maintain it now. Repeating the same numbers forever eventually stalls growth. Progressive overload means gradually increasing the training demand, but it does not require adding weight during every workout. You can progress by performing more clean repetitions, adding a small amount of weight, improving your range or control, or adding a set when recovery supports it. Do not increase everything simultaneously. That transforms sensible progression into unnecessary fatigue and damage technique. Double progression provides a simple system. Select a repetition range, such as 8 to 12. Begin with a weight you can control for 8 repetitions. Across multiple sessions, gradually work toward 12 clean repetitions. Once every working set reaches 12, increase the weight slightly. Your repetitions will probably drop closer to 8 again. From there, begin building them upward. This creates measurable progress without reckless weight jumps. It also gives you a clear standard for deciding when the load should increase. Your logbook protects you against self-deception. Memory can turn average workouts into legendary performances, but written numbers reveal what actually happened. Record the exercise, load, repetitions, sets, and effort. Compare today's performance with previous sessions. One bad workout does not mean your plan failed. Sleep,
stress, and nutrition affect daily performance, so judge progress across several weeks. More work only helps when you can recover from it. If strength and measurements are improving, continue until the evidence demands a change.
Rule 3. Make every repetition mechanically honest. Moving a weight is not automatically the same as training a muscle. Momentum can move impressive loads while reducing tension on the intended muscle. You do not need to make every repetition extremely slow. Many controlled repetition speeds can build muscle. The important part is owning the movement instead of merely surviving it. Lower the weight without dropping it, and use the largest comfortable range you can control without forcing your joints into painful positions. Consider a bicep curl performed with swinging hips. The dumbbell travels through space, but the bicep receives an easier job. Now keep your elbows stable and control the lowering phase. The same weight suddenly feels much heavier. That is not weakness. It is better stimulus placement. Stable exercises can help when the target muscle is difficult to feel. Machines, cables, dumbbells, and bodyweight exercises can all build muscle. Equipment is simply a tool, so choose the version you can progress safely and consistently. Film a set from the side whenever your technique is unclear. Examine your joint position, movement range, and speed near the end. Your final repetitions reveal your real technique. If every repetition becomes a different exercise, reduce the load. Establish a repeatable setup before chasing heavier numbers. Use the same stance, grip, and machine settings so your progress data remains meaningful. Constantly changing exercises hides whether you have improved. Keep important movements long enough to learn and progress them properly. Change an exercise when pain, equipment limitations, or stalled progress genuinely demands it, not simply because you became bored. Good technique is not one universally perfect pose. It is a stable strategy suited to your body. Control, comfortable range, and repeatability are the priorities. Now, protect your training with the most neglected rule. Rule 4. Recovery is part of your muscle building program. Training provides the growth signal, while nutrition, sleep, and rest create the conditions that support adaptation. More workouts cannot compensate for poor recovery forever. Begin with total daily protein instead of supplement timing tricks. For many active adults, approximately 1.4 to 2.0 grams per kilogram of body weight is sufficient, with around 1.6 grams being a practical target. Spread your protein across meals you can maintain. Whole foods can cover the target without expensive powders. Protein powder offers convenience, not magical muscle growth. Calories also matter. If your body weight never increases, your total food intake may be too low. Use a modest calorie surplus instead of an uncontrolled bulk. Rapid weight gain usually adds more than muscle. Track your average body weight across the week, then adjust your intake slowly based on the trend, not one measurement. Next, examine sleep, the recovery tool many people attempt to bargain with. Adults generally need at least 7 hours regularly. Individual requirements vary, but surviving on 5 hours is not a clever shortcut. Insufficient sleep can reduce performance and make difficult training feel even harder. Use a modest calorie surplus instead of an uncontrolled bulk. Rapid weight gain usually adds more than muscle. Track your average body weight across the week. Then adjust your intake slowly based on the trend, not one measurement. Next, examine sleep, the recovery tool many people attempt to bargain with. Adults generally need at least 7 hours regularly. Individual requirements vary, but surviving on 5 hours is not a clever shortcut.
insufficient sleep can reduce performance and make difficult training feel even harder.
Here are the 4 rules. Train close enough to failure to create meaningful effort. Produce measurable progress through recorded repetitions, weight, sets, or control. Use honest technique with a comfortable and repeatable range. Finally, support your training with sufficient protein, calories, sleep, and rest. Do not attempt to change everything tomorrow. Identify the weakest link in your current routine. Improve it for 2 weeks and record the result. Then address the next weakness. Build muscle through evidence, patience, and repeatable work.